Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann, and I just want to yell about stuff because I'm upset. Because I recently got sick. The kind of sick where you got to take medicines and not go to work for a night and feel like a piece of shit. In the last year, twice, the juice gave me pink eye. And now we've reached a new plateau of contagion in the house because her little sister, Chi-Chi, gave me strep throat. Fuck! There I was at work. I thought it was going to be a regular night. All of a sudden it just felt like I had a hard loogie stuck up there in my sinuses. I thought maybe I'm getting a sinus cold, as the germs tend to fly around the jail. Which, if you ever are in a correctional facility, you will get sick. Those places are fucking petri dishes. No amount of disinfectant spray or cleaner or any of that shit or bleach is going to kill all the germs. You're going to get something. And, fun story. And now, story time. Years ago, I picked up a shift at work, and I was sitting there at the desk, and some inmate walks up and hands me a kite form. And I handled it, and I was, answering it for him. Well, the thing of it was I didn't know that he had strep throat. So he had coughed all over this fucking thing, and I handled it, and I chew my nails, which is a terrible habit, not just because it's dirty and it looks bad, but it can spread germs very easily. So there I was a day or two later, throat sore and shit, white chunks in the back of my throat all over my tonsils, looked like somebody fucking drowned me in cottage cheese. And I had to go to the Minute Clinic at Target, because at the time, years ago, I had no fucking medical insurance. And then I had to get a prescription, an expensive one, because I'm allergic to penicillin, the cheap shit, $110 later out of pocket, all because I went to work and picked up a shift for somebody else. Lucky me. Back to what I was going to rant about. So I'm feeling this at work, and I feel like I got a hard loogie stuck. And my throat's not sore. It's not even irritated. So I go and I look at my throat. And there's like red bubbles in the back, looking like the Kool-Aid man shot a soapy load in my mouth. Just little blister-looking things. And I'm like, great. That's probably not good. But then I thought to myself, well, fuck, how often do I really look at my throat when I'm healthy? Just like people say, why does the furnace always break down when it's cold? Why does the AC always seem to break down in the summer? Well, because you don't run them in the opposing seasons, fuckface. And maybe if you did more to prepare for the oncoming cold or warm, you'd be better prepared. As the saying goes, proper preparation prevents piss-poor performance. Say that shit 5 times fast. So, no, I'm not in the habit of looking at the back of my throat when I'm healthy. Like, oh, I wonder how my throat looks today. Like, do you do that? Does anybody do that? Is that normal? It just seems you only look to see how your throat appears when you feel ill or it's scratchy or it hurts. Clearly. Just like you only have the doctor examine your asshole if it feels like you blew a spoke out shitting too hard. Uh-oh. So I came home in the morning and I looked in my throat again with a flashlight, and there were those little red bumps. No white chunky shit, but enough. So I slept on it. Woke up, I had some throat ease tea, and I'm like, well, fuck it. I guess I better go to the Minute Clinic. So as soon as the beast dropped off Chi-Chi, I knew I had about 45 minutes to get this done before I had to go pick up the juice from school. And I went to the Minute Clinic. And for once, I was one of those people that took advantage of signing up online before I got there. And then I got there, and I'm like, when the fuck is it going to call me in? I'm next. And then I realized that if you register online ahead of time, you got to go there and acknowledge that you've arrived. Fucking technology, I swear. So I get there, and it's the usual broad I've seen the last few times. And she asks me about my symptoms, and then she checks my blood pressure, and then she swabs my throat, and then she does a rapid screen for strep, which immediately shows me a positive. Like physically, she's like, well, look at this. I'm like, shit. It's like, yeah. So I'm going to write you a prescription. Which the fucky thing is I had no real symptoms of strep. My throat was not sore. I wasn't running a fever. I didn't have white gunk on my tonsils, a cough, swollen glands, or trouble swallowing. Giggity. So I just thought, well, this fucking sucks. And as we're sitting there, I'm asking her, well, what can I do here now? She's like, well, make sure you throw away your toothbrush after tomorrow after you take your first dose of your meds. And I thought to ask, should I throw out my chapstick? She's like, yeah, you should. I'm like, okay. And then for a second, I looked at Chi-Chi, who, by the way, like I said, gave me strep. She had had strep a few days earlier. And we'll revisit that shortly. So a light bulb goes off in my head when I look at her and I think of the chapstick. Because a few days prior, I had used my chapstick on her without even thinking about it. Just to help her out because her lips looked so bad that she got that like clown redness around her lips like she had been totally face fucking a thing of Hawaiian Punch. So it was bad, and I helped her out because she's my little Chi-Chi and I love her. But it came back to bite me because, no good deed goes unpunished when you've got sick little kids that go to fucking elementary school full of kids that come from other countries where they don't speak English and their parents don't take them to the goddamn doctor and everybody coughs and spits and sneezes and wipes boogers on each other and they all go sick all the time and they fucking bring it home. Doctor prescribes me a Z-Pack. And I ask, oh, well, I'm fine with that, but you got a pharmacy right here at the CVS. Can I get it from them? Oh, we're not actually connected, she tells me. Which is fucking incredible because they are separated by a thin goddamn wall. So I can't even go to 5 feet away from where I'm sitting and get my meds without a lot of hullabaloo. So she sends it to Walgreens, which, in the past, I've also had strep multiple times as an adult, which I guess is rare. But I've had trouble getting medications from Walgreens when CVS sends it electronically. So being that I was too stupid to fucking learn from past mistakes, I let her email it to Walgreens. She's like, okay, well, I sent the email, so she'll be able to go pick it up now. I go get the juice. And then we go to Walgreens. So at this point, 15, 20 minutes have passed by. These fucking places, CVS and Walgreens, a mile apart. But no, I pull up to Walgreens and I give this Asian dude my name. And the fact that he's Asian has nothing to do with it. I'm just trying to paint a picture for you. Young Asian male. He's like, okay, well, give us about 15 minutes and you can come pick it up. We go to Target. I get some stuff. We come back. It's been like almost 30 minutes, and I pull up to the drive-thru, and the guy apparently doesn't fucking recognize me, and I tell him all my information. He's like, I don't see anything. Let me look. So he goes and he fumbles around, and he can't find anything, and I'm just like, dude, she sent it electronically from CVS. Oh, we didn't get anything. Well, is there like an email you can check to see if... He's like, well, I've hit refresh like 3 times and it's not there. And he says this one next statement that pissed me off to no end. I wanted to climb out of my window and through the fucking little slidey drawer somehow like a T-1000, go up in there and just beat him half to death with his own shoes. He goes, well, I don't know what you want me to do. And he just kind of walks away. And I'm like, motherfucker! I don't know what you want me to do. I know what I want you to do. How about some fucking customer service, you piece of shit? So I pull around and I start frantically going through my CVS paperwork, which in fact does not have a phone number to the location I had just come from. It has an 866 number that if you call, you will be on hold for fucking ever. So I try calling them. And like I said, automated piece of shit. I pull back around into the drive-thru, and I don't get him again. I get this probably 20-something, maybe early 30-something nerdy brunette, and she looks like Kathy from the 80s and 90s comic strip Kathy. The one that's always like, oh, I need to diet. Oh, I'll work out tomorrow. Oh, this, that, and the other. She's just a really sad, pathetic, chubby broad who in Wisconsin would probably be like Miss Madison 2004. And I explained the issue with the Asian guy, who I'm just going to call Adam. I don't know why, but I want to call him Adam. And I want to be like, fuck you, Adam, you piece of shit. How hard is it to make a phone call? And I explained, your other guy was rude as hell to me. And I say the same thing, like, how about some customer service? Can you place a phone call for me? Can you keep refreshing the email? Can you consult the pharmacist? Because you're just a tech that works at CVS. You're not the actual dude. Well, cue up the sad trombone, because in walks the pharmacist, who's this Indian guy with a dot, not a feather. Because if he was Indian with a feather, I'd say native. So he says he'll make a call, And then he tries calling, and he can't get anything. In the meantime, I've been on hold, still, with the CVS line, and the motherfucking thing hangs up on me. It had been playing Muzak for 11 minutes. I looked at the call, 11 fucking minutes, and then it just hangs up. Nobody answers. And then he tries calling. And she's like, well, it's going to take him a few minutes, and I can't have you blocking the drive-thru, so I have to fucking pull around again. So I give it a few more minutes. I try calling again. I don't get anything from the CVS automated 866 go fuck yourself line. And I get back to the window, and she's like, he's been on the phone, and he's been on hold. I'm like, I was on hold, and it hung up on me. I'm like, I don't want to have to drive back down to CVS. I got the kids here. She's sick. I'm sick. It's cold. It's snowing. It's rush hour. It's a mile away. I can't believe that there's this much trouble for you people communicating with each other. For fuck's sakes. I just need some goddamn antibiotics. I'm not coming here looking for Percocets or anything like that. It's fucking azithromycin. So anyway, I just get pissed and I'm like, well, fine, I'll be back. Which I don't know if she got nervous when I said that. But I drove down to CVS and I went in the store and I knocked on the door and I saw the chick again and I told her the situation. She's like, God, really? And she looked and they had received the fucking email electronically at 3:34. And at this point, it's like going on fucking 4:30 or later. Math, I don't know. So anywho's it. I'm like, well, you better give me a paper copy because I'm sick of screwing around with these guys and I got shit to do. So she gives me a paper prescription, which I take back to Walgreens, and I march up to the desk. And who sees me? Adam, the Asian prick, whose name probably isn't Adam, but you're Adam now, so fuck you, Adam. And he's like, yeah, the pharmacist's on the phone. He's trying to get a hold of somebody for you. So I just hand him a piece of paper. I'm like, not necessary. Take this, fill it. Hard copy. Problem solved. And I said it like that, and me and the girl sat down, and he gives it to the pharmacist. He's like, the guy came back, and he went and got a paper copy. So I'm just sitting there waving at him like, hi, hang the fucking phone up. Give me my goddamn meds, asshole. To which Dr. Sanjay gives the meds to Adam, who rings it up and then gives it to me. And then Kathy fucking apologizes. I'm like, you have nothing to apologize for. You've been helpful. Have a lovely weekend. I left with my medication. I went home. I called work. I gave him the bad news. And then I took an extra night off, which was totally helpful because the next morning I woke up and we went to IKEA and I finally just broke down and bought bunk beds for the girls and spent Saturday afternoon building those motherfuckers. So now the Juice and the Chi-Chi have bunk beds instead of sleeping on opposite ends of the same single and making it look like we're a poor Russian family.
Oh, bitch, you got jacked, bitch.
Earlier, I had mentioned
the beast.
So let's rewind. Days earlier, I had dropped the girls off at her house. And then I went to go pick up my stepdaughter and the baby from my in-laws. Left my phone on silent. Huge mistake, because if the beast can't get a hold of you, it's a fucking 4-alarm fire of importance, no matter what it is. And she left me angry texts and angry voicemails. Because even though I had picked up the girls and they both seemed fine, when they got home, Chi-Chi, quote, looked like death and was so lethargic. And
the beast
is like, I'm taking her to the clinic. How come you didn't look into this? She said her throat was sore and you ignored her. Which is not fucking true, by the way, because I don't neglect my children. Even though I was told by the beast that this was borderline neglect, I didn't take her to the doctor myself. See, anytime that she has to go to work, that's when she schedules appointments for me to take him to the doctor for her convenience. Anytime she's got to do anything on her free time, I'm the biggest piece of shit since Ike Turner, and the fucked up part is I've never even punched her in the face. And I've wanted to, like, a lot. Hadouken! So anyway, she takes Chi-Chi to a minute clinic, and not only does she have an instant positive strep test, she's got a fever of 103, which I questioned. And then this led to a series of hilarious angry texts between the beast and I, where she's like, what do you mean you doubt that was her temp? Do you have a thermometer at your house? No, you don't. And you're not a fucking doctor. And I had to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on there, beast. Back off my nuts. Because I work at a place where we don't have a nurse all the time, and I'm responsible for the health care and well-being of the inmates. Meaning I check vitals, I take temperatures, and I'm like an armchair pharmacist with all the meds I pass and count and keep track of and know about. So yes, I have a rudimentary knowledge of what it takes to work in a fucking pharmacy and a minute clinic. Holy shit. Experience. But not good enough for
the beast.
If you're not wearing a doctor coat or actually at a clinic, she doesn't take you seriously. Because she's
the beast.
And she's fucking stupid. So anyway, she tells me that not only did I ignore my daughter, that she was going to, quote, document the shit out of this because it's neglect. I'm like, knock yourself out, bitch, because when she woke up in the morning, Chi-Chi said her throat hurt. She had been sleeping for 10 hours. She had something to drink and said she was fine. She ate breakfast without complaints. I looked in her throat with a flashlight. It looked fine to me. She felt a little warm, but not anything out of the ordinary, and she had plenty of energy. So I gave her some liquid Tylenol, and then I sent her to fucking school. And what the fuck is your problem? Because Jesus Christ, I'm not stupid. I know if my kid was lethargic and looked like death. So I emailed the teacher. Said, Chi-Chi ain't going to be there for 2 days. She's sick. And she's like, well, that's weird because she was fine all day and bubbly and happy. And I'm like, I know. I was fine when I picked her up. But apparently when she got home was when she crossed the threshold into the upside down and suddenly had come down with the plague. Here I go and tell the teacher, well, I'm going to keep her home for 2 days so she doesn't, bring that shit to school and give it to anybody else. What does
the beast
do? The next fucking day, she sends the girl to goddamn school. She missed 1 day instead of 2. Well, she's on medicine and after 24 hours she's not contagious. Well, I mean, Jesus, after your cat gets done licking his asshole, it's clean, right? So why don't you just eat a meal out of there? Fucking Jesus Christ. Yeah, she might have been on meds and, quote, not contagious, but don't be one of those parents that just, oh, I don't want to be stuck at home with my kid while they complain about being sick and bored and I have to do parenting. Don't make me adult. I'm
the beast.
I want to sit around and fucking watch stupid Kevin Hart specials on Netflix and flick my bean and wait for my other baby to have a nap so that I can sit here and take a nap because I'm
the beast
and I'm fucking lazy. Fuck you,
beast.
Here's the moral of all of this. If you're going to go to a minute clinic pharmacy, get the fucking prescription on paper. Then you can take the paper to a pharmacy and you don't have to deal with this shit. There's no phone calls. There's no arguing with an Asian guy through a window. There's no sad cat lady that probably wears Garfield nightgown t-shirts 6 days out of the week while she's at home from the minute she gets home from work, sitting there apologizing for Adam. There's no fucking Indian pharmacist who's on the phone with the CVS 866 line, probably cussing at me in some godforsaken language I don't even know what it is. Like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I should have just got the piece of paper, and then we could have all gone about our Friday nights with a lot less conflict, but then I wouldn't have this episode. And, frankly, I need the episodes, because then I can vent. Interact with the show on Twitter at, what do we call it? That is at, what do we call it? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/what do we call it? Podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann, and that's the end.